Welcome back. The government hopes to have the proposed intellectual properties bill in Parliament within a matter of weeks. It is a bill that protects the property of thought and is needed in order for the Bahamas to comply with the WTO requirements. Now, during a recent educational forum, consultant with the government, Mark Salas, outlined some of the areas to be positively impacted by the legislation. He says over the years, there has been a constant cry about the influx of counterfeit or pirated items like known off-designer bags. Salas says the legislation will address this issue.
Under the new Customs Management Act, which is another one of the pieces of legislation that we have drafted in order to bring Bahamian trade law up to international standards, there is under the new CMA, there is a specific section dealing with interdiction of counterfeit and pirated goods at the border. So what this will enable rights holders here in the Bahamas to do is, if they, on reasonable and probable grounds, know that a shipment is going to arrive, they can basically make an application to Customs to have that shipment impounded and inspected to determine whether or not the goods, in fact, are infringing goods.
Salas says the counterfeit items stretch across a broad spectrum and includes pharmaceutical drugs as well.
Pharmaceuticals are now being turned out in record numbers in jurisdictions in the Far East in particular, and some jurisdictions in Latin America. There are no adequate controls in many countries. These goods are entering into international commerce. Because the patterns of trade for the Bahamas have changed so radically over the past 10-15 years, things no longer are funneled through the United States as they used to be. They're being direct shipped from all over the world.
Well, we brought you a story a few months ago, and tonight we have new developments. It's the story of a young Grand Bahama man committed to following his dream. The young man has defied many challenges over the years and is currently celebrating a major accomplishment. Natalie Martinborough fills us in.
Bahamian college student Alexio Gibson is one step closer to realizing his dream. Last year, young Gibson applied to the Johnson Space Center in Texas for an internship. While he was accepted, he was later turned down because the Space Center was challenged with funding. But 4 weeks ago, in the middle of an exam at Palm Beach State College, Alexio received a call that would change his life.
And the exam policy is if you answer your phone or leave the room at any moment, you fail the class. So here I am in my seat, dancing around, thinking, is it worth answering this phone call or not? Ultimately, I ignored the phone call and finished my exam, and I tried to make a return call. Come to find out that number was a main switchboard, and I couldn't figure out who called me. But I found in the corner of my phone that I had a voicemail, and for the longest time, for years, I couldn't get into my voicemail, and I just never even tried anymore. But I just had a feeling that that voicemail was from NASA revealing who called me.
He eventually retrieved the voicemail and was able to contact the caller, an executive with NASA, who wanted to interview him via telephone for an internship program in Washington, D.C.
I'm put into a pool with PhD students, master degree students, all competing for this one chair. So I got the phone call a week later to do my phone interview, and I just started explaining to the lady, everything I do, my leadership skills, the fact that I make videos now, what I've done for the college, the rover I built for NASA the year prior to. And by the end of the phone call, I thought I would have to wait weeks to find out, but at the very end of the interview, she said, I have to look no further, you're our guy.
Gibson is preparing to travel to Washington on January 19th. He considers it an opportunity of a lifetime.
I always wanted to work with NASA since I was a kid, but it was something I never thought was obtainable. It was a goal that I only thought was for the brightest of the bright, or the Einsteins of the world. It was just always a dream that I never thought I'd obtain. So to now be living that dream, it's unbelievable.
Gibson, a biomedical engineering student, has been assigned to the office of NASA's Chief of Technology in Washington, D.C. for the next 15 weeks.
My job is to create interactive visuals and presentations that I'll be presenting to congressmen at the White House, convincing them to put more funding into the STEM program. STEM, as you know, is science, technology, engineering, and math. And the reason we're able to go to space and do all the things that we do is because the government funds it. So they're putting a lot on my plate because they're depending on me to, a younger person, to make these interactive presentations to these big board panels and convince them to keep doing what they're doing.
The internship program will close out at the end of May. Natalie Martinborough, ZNS Network News.
What a great story. Thank you, Natalie. Well, they call themselves Kingdom Seekers. They are a young gospel group from the West. While they have been around for almost 2 years, they will have their debut this weekend during a special concert. Tony Lowe leads the group.
We're planning on recording the concert live and then distributing a live recording CD and DVD package. I felt like from I was a little kid, God called me to sing, and like this, the formation of this band is kind of like a dream come true for me. And so what we're looking for this concert is for people to get a chance to hear the music that we've been working on, music that God has put in our hearts, and we just hope that it's a blessing to other people.
Lowe says the concert slated for Saturday night at Refuge Temple in Holmes Rock comes after countless hours of preparation. He says the social media network has been a tremendous help as well.
I was having some alone time with God, and I was saying, it'll be a cool thing if I could have a band. And the next day, I found this guy on Facebook. I was just talking to people you may know on Facebook, and I saw this drummer, and I was like, "You could drum? I'm looking for some musicians." And he invited me to this rehearsal that they were having, and when we met, we just clicked, and it was amazing. We ended up singing at a concert the following day, and we decided at that point that we'd use our gifts to glorify God.
I
want to say a special happy birthday to Davina Rutherford. Happy 30th birthday.
Happy birthday, Davina. I can't wait until I turn 30.
Again?
Well, that's going to do it for us here. Have a great evening. The Bahamas Tonight continues right after this.